write something and I'll write it in the private.
Hello, and welcome to our first official episode of Factoids. I think we've managed to get all the kinks and bits sorted out, and oh, there goes the sounds of me going live. So we should have a good show. So Keith, are you ready to spot the fact from fiction in this week's episode of Factoids?
I'm gonna try.
Okay, as you won last week, you get to go first.
Right. Okay. So, hang on. You're forgetting something. You suck.
Oh,
you suck.
Yes. Sorry.
Yeah.
Round one, Keith. Let's go.
Okay. So, it's the 90s. Everybody loves the 90s. You know, it's the slightly worst version of the 80s, but it was an all right era for pop music. And there was this one pop band that had the most annoying song ever. Now, you may have remembered them, called Hanson. Do you remember Hanson with their long wavy hair? The three brothers, and they had a song called Mbop, which they actually wrote. I'll tell you, they actually wrote that and produced it themselves. It wasn't a manufactured pop. But Hanson, believe it or not, are still together now. In fact, very recently, they were the first band to perform on the US version of The Masked Singer, which is a very annoying show that we've had here for years. But they've also got into something else. And they've started up a craft beer company. And one of their best-selling beers is called M-Hops.
Okay. Has Chuck drunk this by any chance?
No, I don't know.
Are you sure he hasn't drunk this?
I don't know. If he's in the comments, he can comment. I can't look at the comments, but
yes, you're not.
There is their best. One of their best-selling beers is called M-Hops, and they are all three brothers co-own this brewery, and it's called the Hanson Brothers Beer Brewery or something along those lines. But their best-selling beer is M-Hops.
M-Hops. Okay.
M-Hops.
So your fact or factoid is that the Hanson brothers have their own microbrewery and they have hops as one of their drinks.
Yes.
Okay. Right. That sounds quite believable. The problem is I haven't watched all the Chuck's video. I don't know if there's a new video from Chuck, which he's been clearly drinking at hops. So I'm not sure. I'm going to wait on making my decision on that one. I'm leaning towards fact at the moment, but we'll move on. So it's my turn. I call this round Heavenly Bodies. As in Natasha Henstridge from the 1990s. All right. So, Jupiter has the most amount of moons in the solar system at a staggering 62, including Europa, Ganymede, Callisto, and Titan. It has all these moons, and they're really large, and they keep discovering new ones. But at this point in time, he has 62 moons. Yeah, it's not much.
Is that your fact though, that it has 62 moons?
62 moons.
Well, you see, I do know that it's got quite a lot.
It's got Meltis, Aratis, Jutit, or Malithia, Thebe.
Sorry, what was that one? What?
Jutit. So yeah, got Jutit, Callisto, Galilean, Galilee, S2 9000J. So many moons and moonlets. It's ridiculous. So yeah. So, fact or factoid?
I'm reserving judgment at this point.
That's why we've got the last round, so you can
Yeah.
actually have judgment. So, okay. All right. So, do you go? You so reserve judgment. Make it. Which way are you leaning on that one?
I know it's got a lot of moons, but I'm not sure it's full on 62. I know it has a few moons, but I'm
Okay.
not sure yet. But I've got to hear the other ones. I'm leaning towards that it might be a factoid, but I know you. So,
But remember,
we will
Heavenly
see.
Body, Tasha Henstridge, 1990s. I want to keep that in there every week. Heavenly Bodies. Right. If that's the case, then on to round 2. So round 2, Keith.
So I call this one Google's dodgy servers. We're sticking in the 90s era for this one because that's when Google first started out. Because when I was a young lad and I first went on the internet, it was all about Alta Vista. Nobody had ever heard of Google. And actually, the founders of Google, which was a Sergey Brin and Larry Page, were over at Stanford University in the States in 1996, studying for a PhD. And what they decided to do as part of this project that they were working on, which was a digital library, which they were collecting stuff off the internet and creating this digital library. But being poor ass students, they didn't have a lot of money and they needed to build a storage array. So they basically got bits together. Now, Larry Page was seriously into Meccano. So the first Google storage array was housed in a Meccano rack. Seriously, rack. Yeah, it had 10 hard drives in it. And get this, Gareth, they were state of the art. 4 gigabyte hard drives, not 4 terabyte, 4 gigabyte. And it had 10 of them in this storage array, which was built in a Meccano sort of, well, mostly Meccano sort of rack that it was built in. And that is how Google first started. But believe it or not, and this is an absolute fact, less than 3 years later, Google became the standard go-to search engine. By 1999, it was the most visited search engine in the world. And it became the behemoth, destroyer of worlds that it is now.
Okay.
Now,
I actually believe. I'm gonna be honest with you. I believe that one, because think about RAID arrays and stuff. Not many people sold housing for RAID arrays at the time. I'm trying to think of people. It'd be like IBM and IBM. That's it. Don't think anyone else was doing RAID at the time. So you needed big storage space. I can imagine that they managed to cobble together
4 gigabyte, 10 of them, and they built this digital library project, which then was actually the beginning of Google,
which was the beginning
Google
of
search engine as we know it today.
Okay, I'm leaning on believing that one. Ask me again when we get towards the end, and I've had a review of them. All right, so famous French dictator / emperor Napoleon was once attacked by a horde of bunnies during a office training session, shall we say, to bring about
French
togetherness.
What's up, Doc?
Yeah, so he was attacked by a horde of bunnies, which they were supposed to go and hunt these bunnies, but he released the bunnies, and instead of running off into the woods for them to track down and come together in this team building exercise, that's what I want to say, team building exercise, they all attacked Napoleon because they knew he was French. I can see Nigel down in the corner reacting to that. Yeah, so he was attacked by a ton of bunnies in a team building exercise.
Hang on. I need to.
No Googling.
No, I'm not Googling it. I'm translating what's up talking to French.
Okay.
Oui, de nerve, doc. Quoi de nerve, doc. Which means what's up, doc? Is that what he was yelling at the time?
All right. So Team building exercise by French dictator goes wrong. That's the name of this fact.
Sacre bleu!
Sacre bleu.
It's a bunch of raping bunnies. I want that one to be true. It's whether I believe it or not.
Team building exercise.
But I really want that one to be true.
Okay. All right. So, yeah. Okay. Let's go on to headlines. And for this, we will need a third person as a judge. I've got no music for that. I need to put music on that one. All right. So, Keith, as you won, as I will keep saying that you won, which doesn't come across my lips very easily. Last week, you have to go first on your headline, and Nigel will judge who has the best headline, and the game can come down to this. So, Keith, headline.
This is my headline. China may be using the sea to hide its submarines.
Keep a straight face on that one. All right.
I just think that's true, so I don't.
No.
Is it funny? That's the question, Nigel.
I thought it was funny.
Right, my one. Amphibious pitcher makes debut.
Keith's one was better, to be fair.
Okay, Keith's one was better than mine. You know what? I spent so much on my fact and factoids.
It was.
I forgot to look for a headline.
Mine was better last week. I had scientists kill ducks to find out why they're dying.
Okay,
I didn't find anything that good this week.
So
my tiebreaker is on Keith's side. So it's
okay, it's on Keith's side. Good. Right now I'm upset with you. You're going away. All right. Okay. So I bollocks that up twice in a row now. You can't see him. So round 3. Round 3's broken. I need to fix that. I thought I fixed it. Anywho, so Keith, your third and final fact or factoid.
Funny enough, still with the 90s. All my facts from the 90s this week. David Bowie, awesome, legendary singer, sometime actor, and that dodgy bloke at the beginning of The Snowman that is on every bloody year at Christmas. David Bowie. Right. David Bowie in 1996 launched an ISP called BowieNet. He did. He launched an ISP because David Bowie believed that the internet was the future and he wanted a piece of it. So he launched BowieNet. And like most of those sort of dial-ups at the time, it was dial-up internet, by the way, you would get a free Bowie.net email address. And you would also get part of this legendary fan club that had loads of exclusives. Now, David Bowie was quite into his tech. He was the first major artist to release a song only on the internet, like distributed on the internet, not via CDs or anything. And that was called Telling Lies. And that was also in 1996. And he did this via his BowieNet website. And BowieNet lasted for quite a long while. And there was like message boards on there, which he would sometimes go in. So he would have talk direct to the fans and things like that. But by 2006, broadband internet had taken over. And in 2006, unfortunately, BowieNet ceased to exist. But in 1996, David Bowie, legendary actor, launched BowieNet ISP. Now, is that a fact or a factoid?
Oh, it's oh. There were bits where he went really balls deep into the internet, and I know he had a song on the internet. I didn't realize it was that song. If it is the case, he was definitely in games. I think it was not Vampire Masquerade. It was like Vampire Masquerade, but he was definitely in one in a computer game because we sold it in the shop that we both worked at when we were young men. Interesting. Gonna lean on. I'm gonna say fact at the moment, but I've got the opportunity to change my mind towards the end. So, would you like to hear my fact or factoid?
Hit me.
Hit ya. There is a 13th century abbey in Scotland that has an alien on it. So,
What?
there is a 13th century Scotland that has an alien on it. Of all the little sculptures that it's got along the side of it, it has one of them being an alien. So it has a gargoyle alien on the side of it. It's a 13th century abbey in Paisley, Australia. No, Scotland. Australia. Yeah. So yeah, it has an alien on there. It's proper stuff. It's real, believe me. Didn't make it up. That's all. It has an alien there.
There is an alien
Carved into the side of a church in Scotland in Paisley. That's that's how I'll summarize it.
We think that might be a fact.
Okay.
Maybe.
Maybe.
You have to take me back through all three of yours again.
Oh, no. What's what we're going to do towards the end? All right. So it's time to work out which one we're going to put a stake in the ground next to and say which one is a fact or a factoid. So Keith, right, you're going to get to pick your fact or factoid first. So the first one is Jupiter has 62 moons and has the most amount of moons in the solar system. Followed by during a team building exercise, Napoleon Bonaparte got attacked by angry bunny rabbits. Or someone has sculpted an alien into the side of an abbey in Paisley. Which one do you think is a factoid?
I think it's the Jupiter one.
You think Jupiter is the factoid one?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
So I'm going with that guess.
Jupiter's the factoid. Okay.
Because I really want the Napoleon one to be true. I really do. Okay, so my three were 90s boy band Hanson have a microbrewery company and their best-selling beer is Hops.
Okay.
Google's first storage array was built partially out of Meccano. Or David Bowie, awesome legendary superstar Ziggy Stardust himself,
musician,
launched BowieNet, an ISP in 1996.
I think the BowieNet is the factoid because I think BowieNet exists but has nothing to do with David Bowie.
Okay, so you're going that BowieNet is the factoid.
Okay, so for my first one, as if I get to press buttons, for my first one, Jupiter has 62 satellites. It is.
It's complete fiction.
It has. This is the thing that's amazing. It has 79 moons.
Jesus, I actually thought it was less than 62.
And possibly more. But here's the funny thing. It's not the planet with the most amount of moons in the solar system because that goes to Saturn with 150.
Moons. As in what?
Moons.
They're not classifying like asteroids as
big series-sized chunks of rock.
Wow.
150.
Okay, my mind is blown.
That's one of the reasons, because if you got it wrong, I could still blow your little noggin with it.
My mind is blown.
Okay, so we got that. Then we had the one that you really wanted.
It's a fact.
Which was a Napoleon Bonaparte had a team building exercise that went completely wrong and he got attacked by 3,000 bunny rabbits. At his request, he arranged a rabbit hunt for him and his men. His chief staff set it up, rounded up 100 men who got 3,000 rabbits for the occasion. When the rabbits were released from the cages on the hunt, ready to go, at least that was the plan. But the bunnies charged towards Napoleon Bonaparte, and in a vicious, unstoppable onslaught. And then that's how we won Waterloo. Right. Okay, so my last one, which was there is what do you call it? Alien carved into the side of a church in Abbey in Paisley.
It's a fact. Now, I thought I saw something about this, so that's why it kind of rung a bell. But
Yeah, it's in Paisley
enlighten
Abbey,
me.
and it's have I got it there? Accept. Right. So yeah, there's an alien gargoyle. I'm going to share my screen to prove this one. That's it. Hit the mic setting, Gareth. Clever boy. Right. So we hit that. We hit share screen. And we go edge. Alien gargoyle. So here it is. There we go. That is poking out the thing.
As in,
yeah, go on. As in alien.
that is as in an alien.
Yes, as in xenomorph. H.R. Geiger.
Wow.
On the side of a 12th century abbey
Wow.
in Scotland.
Wow.
So I like the fact that I blew your little noggin with that one. All right, so it's your turn with the buttons, mate.
So, 90s boy band Hanson have a microbrewery, and they sell one of their best selling ones is M hops. It's a fact. Yep,
I
it's
believe that
absolutely
one.
true.
That one I believe.
I found them. There's a company now. They're as of 2021. They are still selling beer, and one of their best selling is called M Hops, which I want to get some now. I really do. I want to get some.
The question is, has Chuck drunk it?
Yeah, we'll have to find out. We'll have to find out.
Because I watched Chuck's videos of him going to all these breweries. I was expecting him to get drunk further on through the videos. What a letdown.
He's no fun. He's no fun.
Right,
should be
so
drunk. Hey, flying drunk. It's like this really smooth footage at the beginning, but by the end,
show me the way to go home.
So, Google built their first storage array out of Meccano. It's complete fiction. It was not Meccano, but there is some truth to this story.
There can't be a factoid if there's truth to the story.
The fact that it wasn't Meccano. It was Lego or Duplo. And they used red, blue, green, and yellow. And that is partly where Google's logo colors come from.
I feel completely diddled. I'm gonna have to bring in the referee in a moment just to see if that's
It's
allowed.
absolutely true. You can. I can get you a picture of this thing. Hang on. I will find you a picture.
I brought up my alien gargoyle one. I wish I had a picture of Napoleon being attacked by rabbits. That would be so much
fun. Google's very. Here we go. Hang on. I'll show you the picture of it. Here we go. Let me bring up my shared screen. Hang on. Share screen. Microsoft Edge tab.
Hear him talk his way through this. Come on. Bit of professionalism. There we go.
There we go. That was Google's server. Made out of Lego. Storage server you can see the side crystal one there that it's got the 10 drives in it. It was made out of Lego. I just did what you did with Batman thinking. I swapped it over. I was mind blown, but I swapped it with Meccano because I thought, Meccano is believable. Actually, if you're going to build a storage rack, you want to build it out of Meccano, not bloody Lego.
But yeah, Meccano. Then again, maybe because earthing, electricity, plastic may be better as an option. Okay, all right. So, come on, last one.
My final one, David Bowie in 1996 launched BowieNet, a dial-up ISP. It's a fact.
Now,
in all fairness, this blew my mind a bit. when I found this one, I was like, he's never going to believe that because I had no idea. But genuinely, customers could phone up. It was $19.99 in US money. For some reason, it was in US, even though it was UK money. But it was I think it was 19 quid, and they just got the dollar wrong on the article that I read. But yeah, $19. David Bowie had BowieNet, and in 2006 it was taken down. But you generally could have BowieNet email addresses and all of that kind of stuff. He's Googled it. There you go.
Yes. Sorry, I thought I'd illustrate your point.
Absolute fact that that there was BowieNet.
I feel so bad. Right. So I'm just going to bring in Nigel. Hello, Nigel.
Hello.
So right, let's see who we got playing along. Because is there any comments and stuff from people?
Yeah. So we've had a few people join. Babster was here with us. He guessed a couple. I think Beef did. Maybe he didn't actually, but he did say, "I love Keith. Is so hoppy." About the rabbit one.
The rabbit one made me giggle.
Team building exercise goes wrong for French dictator. That was the headline for that day.
Yeah. Yeah. So a few people were having a little guess. So
Okay.
a few people thought Keith's first one was true.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gareth's first one was false.
False.
And Keith's second. Nobody really guessed after that, but Beaver did think Keith's second one was false.
So Biffa got it.
Biffa got it. So there's a round of applause to Bilford the Hobbit. Well done. You guessed correctly. I don't know if you guessed correctly on both. We're going to see if we can set something up next week so you guys can interact with us. I need to just check on how to get it working properly and do a few tests with it. But we'll be able to do it so we can release it and you can have a guess as you're going along. Because we would like that audience participation. We've had fun. I hope you have too. Guys, thank you very much. There's Nige, who's been our lovely producer, sitting in the background, managing all you guys in the chat. And then we've got Keith, the winner, who'll be going first next week because he won.
Again.
Because he fucking used my own trick against me, pardon my language.
He did, and I think to be fair to him, the Lego Meccano Switch was inspired. You just simply changed the number of moons. So he just changed the thing.
I drastically reduced the number of moons.
In fairness to you, Gav, I thought you were overestimating, not underestimating them. So you've blown my mind on the fact that Saturn's got even more than Jupiter. I thought Jupiter had the most amount of moons.
No,
yeah,
Saturn,
and that's
apparently.
what this is about. It's about changing. If you've got a fact and you tweak it slightly, then it becomes factoid. So that's what you've done.
Okay, gentlemen, wave at the camera like you're on some kind of 80s game show, and we're all saying goodbye as the audience are applauding.
Blankety blank, blankety blank, blankety blank.